We want to thank you for coming this morning, and it's such a beautiful morning, and we're grateful and thankful that we have 6 houses done in Druid Heights. This was a hard task, and we are so excited and happy that all our partners are here, all our community members, and our homeowners. We just want to give you a little snippet of, there's a tour that can happen afterwards if you would like to come in, but these houses are across the street. We were able to do 17 about 10 years ago, and now we're continuing on with the journey and with the mission to provide affordable housing for the citizens in Baltimore City, and I think that's a hand clap for that. These houses are about 1,200 square feet. We have great amenities in here. Again, when you come in, you can tour it and also share with people. We are selling these homes. They're starting at an affordable rate, and we're excited and just so happy. We have our elected officials here, but before we begin, we would like to have Father Wade say a prayer.
We pray. Good and gracious God, we thank you for this beautiful day. This day you have made and given so that we might praise you. As the sun shines down on us today, may it remind us of your grace and mercy shining on us always, even in the darkness. Bless and protect our community, our mayor, and the leadership of our city. Be with us as we strive together to be instruments of your peace. Bless these homes that we dedicate today. Bless the families who will move into these houses and make them home. Be their shelter when they are here, their companion when they are away, and their welcome guest when they return. Keep them and all of us mindful that you are our true home. As we pray in your good and holy name, amen. Amen.
Thank you so much, Father Ray. So, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Joan Dre Jennings. I'm the Director of Real Estate Development for the Great Druid Heights. And again, we are so excited. Thank you. We're so excited to have this ribbon cutting and have our partners and community members as well. I just wanted to leave with a quick quote before I hand it off to our Executive Director. And if you wouldn't mind obliging me and repeating after me, nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible.
So that word itself says, I'm possible. So I'm possible.
I'm possible.
And if we are possible as individuals, that means we as a collective are possible. And this, again, would not have happened without the collective visioning of our founder, Ms. Jackie Cornish, and of just all the community members that made this happen. I'm going to hand it off to our Executive Director,
Thank you.
Mr. Anthony Presley. Let's give a hand clap for our Executive Director.
She forgot my name, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are so excited. This is the day the Lord has made, and we are grateful and should be glad in it. But as Ms. Jennings said, she's our Director of Real Estate Development. We'd like to really give a big applause for her because she led this effort. She helped to make all this happen. She had a big task on her hand, and she really accomplished it. So we're thankful. We're also thankful to have all these partners here, and I just want to run through them real fast. And then I don't want us to clap. I want us to scream and holler and be glad in the day after I introduce them all. Our guests are not just up here. They're up here because they've been with us. Not just here for an appearance, but here because of who they are and what they've done to help us through the day. So I'm going to start from my far right with the founder of the organization, who's still an active member of our board and has given us so much advice until we will not let her retire. She keeps saying, I'm in retirement, but that's not true. Give it up for Miss Jacqueline Cornish, everybody. Please help me. And thank you. And to her, we'd also like to move to Ms. Carl Gilbert, who is the Assistant Secretary of State for the Department of Housing, State Department. Been there the whole way with us, so I want you to give it up for her as well. Give it up, please. Help me. Thank you. Commissioner Michael Braverman needs no introduction. Everybody here who's working in Baltimore knows this man and they knows his heart. He's allowed me to call him on the first name basis. So I'm going to say, give it up for Michael, everybody. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. The councilman for this district has been a longtime friend of this community. There, whenever we need him, Druid Heights, you know it. Give it up for Councilman Leon Pinkett. Thank you, thank you. And here's another lady who needs no introduction. You all know her. We all know her very well. Our controller, Joan Pratt. Give it up for her. Thank you, thank you. And to the man who stepped in as mayor and just really kept moving us forward. He's been there. He's taken a tour of this community probably 3 times. 3 times since he's been acting and becoming the mayor. We just keep walking him around, and he keeps making things happen for this community. So help me give it up for the mayor, Bernard Jack Young, everybody. Now, we're going to begin the speeches and the comments coming from the mayor. So we welcome you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And good morning to everyone. I want to acknowledge some folk who are not here, but who were also instrumental, and that's Senator Antonio Hayes, Controller Pratt, Delegate Melissa Wells, Council President Brandon Scott, and of course, Councilman Leon Pinkett, who is here, Carol Gilbert, the Assistant Secretary of Neighborhood Revitalization of the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, Commissioner Michael Braverman, Anthony Presley, Executive Director of Druid Heights CDC, and you know you can't say anything about Druid Heights without mentioning Jackie Cornish. Thank you. It's another great day here in Druid Heights, and I want to thank the Druid Heights CDC, including Executive Director Anthony Presley, and to our state partners at DHCD. And I'm truly excited to be here today to celebrate yet another phase of Baker View. How many phases is it? I know. How many is it going to be? 4. Okay, 2 more to go. Okay. And affordable home ownership opportunity it presents here in West Baltimore. Projects like this one are how we will continue to equitably redevelop Baltimore City to benefit all residents. I'm energized by not only this project, but by all of the exciting activities happening in the Druid Heights community and Pennsylvania Avenue corridor, and by what is possible through the implementation of our community development framework. We're building Baltimore right here and right now, and I won't stop until we hit every corner of our city. That's my commitment to Baltimore, and again, I want to thank all of the people who are sitting up here, because without them, none of us could get this work done. And to our esteemed, what's your title? Director of Real Estate, who worked so hard to make sure that these deals are together. And I understand the home ownership payments is under $800. Is that true? It's affordable. Okay, I'll leave it at affordable. Okay. But anytime, you know, in the city of Baltimore, you're paying $800 and $900 for some of these houses. To be able to use that same amount of money to become homeowners is just a great thing to do. And Pastor, thank you for your support and your prayers for this community. I know you've been an integral part of what's going on over here in West Baltimore. Keep up the good work. Keep praying for us that we can continue to rebuild Baltimore, where everybody can afford to live.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. We appreciate that. We always appreciate your support, sir. We're going to now hear from our controller, Joan Pratt. Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Good morning, Mayor Young, Councilman Pinkett, Executive Director Anthony Presley, Commissioner Braverman, Assistant Secretary Carol Gilbert, Jackie Cornish, community members, families that live here, friends, and guests. And I would like to thank the Druid Heights Community Development Corporation for inviting me here this morning, but more importantly for the hard work and dedication and time and effort that you've invested in Baker's View project. Druid Heights CDC has set a standard of leadership, foresight, and careful planning, also while maintaining its commitment to creating a better neighborhood and community with exceptional, high quality, and affordable housing. And as a proud supporter, I wish you continued success as you embark on the next phase of your development. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Controller. I just also want to just go through something. God said in Isaiah, your people will rebuild the ancient ruins and raise up the age-old foundations. You will be called repair of the broken walls, restorer of the streets with dwellings. I read that this morning, and I'm thinking this is what we're called to do. Create affordable home ownership in our community so that people can keep coming. You build, and they shall come. Under Mrs. Cornish's leadership, we built the two levels of Brunt Manor all the way down the street. And then we put these garage front homes there, which brought more than 100 families to a newly constructed area of our community. Then we added these 17, and then there's going to be 21 more as you keep coming to these ribbon cutting ceremonies. So we're building a community with the help of the community, and I think that's very important. We are building the old waste places and restoring one of the city's most historic communities. That's very important. I now want to bring up Councilman Leon Pinkett. Let's welcome him, please.
Good morning. Once again, I'm Councilman Leon Pinkett. Father Ray, I was listening to Anthony, and I was noticing how he was bootlegging as a preacher. He need to go ahead and put a collar on if he's gonna come out here and preach. But first of all, I want to just thank God for this incredible weather that we have. It's wonderful when God endorses projects like this by just shining down on us with the weather. I was with the mayor on Saturday morning at an event for SPCA. It was so cold at that event, and so for you all that don't notice, the mayor never wears a coat, and so I try to show off with him every once in a while and try not to wear a coat. Man, I was so mad at him on Saturday, like, man, because you don't have on a coat and I don't have on a coat, and I was going to grab two of those dogs and try to make a coat. But for those that may remember, I guess it was several months ago when we did a groundbreaking, I dug into the archives and found one of Anthony's poems. Don't worry, Anthony, I couldn't find another one that was appropriate. But I did find a little few verses that says, amid pleasures and palaces, though we may roam, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. And really, Druid Heights has been an incredible partner in home ownership throughout, not just this community, but really throughout the city. And it was almost a year now, Druid Heights, Penn North, Upton came together under the umbrella of West Baltimore Gateway because we saw the value in this community. We saw the value of working together. But we also recognized that one day the market is going to discover West Baltimore. And when the market does discover West Baltimore, we want to make certain that the legacy residents still have a place here. And the best way to do that is to support and encourage home ownership. And so today I come to celebrate just the beginning of what is a great move in West Baltimore, from Penn North all the way down to Upton, as we transition people into really establishing themselves in this community as homeowners and future partners. So thank you, Druid Heights CDC, and congratulations on much success.
Thank you, Councilman. And next, of course, we're going to hear from my friend Michael, the Commissioner, Michael Braverman.
I got to lower this a little bit for me. Good morning, everybody. It's a great day at Druid Heights. This is something that I've been saying, and I mean it. This is the city that's going to show the country how to get community development right. And this means that we're going to build on our assets in communities like Penn North, Druid Heights, Upton, the East Side and Broadway East, Chum, Johnson Square, East Baltimore, Midway, Park Heights in the Northwest. But we are going to do that in an equitable and an inclusive way. And DHCD, with the support of Mayor Young, we've published our framework for community development that highlights how, as a city, we will bring extraordinary new resources, because this takes resources, extraordinary new resources to our community development efforts, and that's to ensure equity and inclusivity from the start. And we will be investing strategically. And I'm proud to say that both the state and the city are committed to bringing these resources to support that community development framework, which focuses right here in Druid Heights. But the assets aren't just the stately homes that are here and the historic legacy. It's the individuals like Jackie that make up this community, that provide leadership roles, and that will hold us all accountable. And I know that because she holds me accountable on a daily basis. So to Jackie and her vision and to her team, we are extraordinarily thankful as a city. I wanted to say that it's also a little bit more than that as well. I mean, this vision of home ownership is extraordinary. Home ownership is what we need to support this community, what Druid Heights CDC has been doing all along. I wanted to shout out to the folks here from our CDBG unit. I see some of our CDBG team here have been supporting Druid Heights CDC for a long time as they get this work done. I see Susan here. But I know that somebody who makes some of the magic happen when it comes to how we help these deals pencil out is not here. So I'm going to embarrass him in his absence and say thanks to Jim Majors, the man behind the curtain who helps our end of the capital stack and making it work. But I also wanted to say that there are developers around the city, and they are changing the landscape of our city for the positive, and they are also lending their time and expertise here in Druid Heights, working with the team at Druid Heights CDC. So I want to call out Ernst Valerie, who's here in the background, for all the great work that he's done. And I see Marty Glaze here as well. He's convinced to come along and work on this project, and some of the great things are happening because of the partnerships that are happening. So I'm really proud to be part of this team. I'm looking forward to the things that are happening here. We're going to see a new park right here, state and city partnership. We're going to see the 2200 block of Druid Hill Avenue on that east side, historically renovated and restored. You can see it's being stabilized now. We know on the 1900 block of Edding Street, we see some new home ownership activity the state and city and community are supporting with Black Women Build and Shelley Halstead, where there's new affordable home ownership going on just a few blocks down on Robert Street and Division. There are a lot of exciting things happening. There's a great future. I'm so excited to be part of it. Thank you, Druid Heights CDC, for letting us partner with you. Thank you.
I like the way he said for letting us partner with you. It's the other way around. We thank you, sir. I want to just take a moment and introduce the president of our board of directors who's here up front, Mr. Richard Edwards, everybody, yay. And I see a few other members of the board. This lady right here bought a home from us on this block, Miss Lawson. There she is. She's a member of our board. She's a homeowner and member of the board. Thank you for being here. We very much appreciate that. Our staff. How quickly can I say staff come forward? I just want you to recognize all the hard-working crews from Druid Heights. And this lovely lady here in the gold is the one responsible for selling these homes. Give it up, Miss Chloe Williams. Thank you. And these fine people you see, come on up, you guys. Real quickly, please give a warm welcome and a thank you for the staff at Druid Heights Community Development Corporation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Chloe, keep selling these homes. Great job. Next, we're going to hear from, yes, Assistant Secretary of State, Ms. Carol Gilbert. Everybody make some noise for Ms. Gilbert. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony, and I know I will have arrived when you say, my friend Carol.
My friend Carol.
So greetings and congratulations to everyone here on behalf of Governor Hogan and Lieutenant Governor Rutherford and my boss, Secretary Ken Holt from the Department of Housing. And the Secretary was here not too long ago doing the groundbreaking, I believe. And he came back and said to me, that's a great project. We got to keep helping that project to the very end. And I know that we will. So, yay. On the drive here, I was thinking to myself, when did I first cross paths with the legendary Jackie Cornish? And it really goes back a ways. I should not admit, but in the early 90s, I had just joined the little nonprofit Neighborhood Design Center at the time when it was celebrating its 25th anniversary. And at that that event, they celebrated 25 of Maryland's great leaders, and Jackie was one of those 25 great leaders. And here she is, 30 years later, still having fun. So time flies when you're having a lot of fun in community development. We are very, very proud to be a partner in this phase of the four-phase project. We provided about $650,000 through the Baltimore Regional Neighborhoods Initiative that we affectionately call the Bernie program, which was launched by Secretary Bush back in 2014 and has invested in the Baltimore region more than $43 million in 200 projects. And this will no doubt continue to be a neighborhood in which we strongly invest, not only through Bernie, but also Project CORE. This is the governor's flagship community development program for the Baltimore area, and has invested more than $80 million throughout the city to relieve blight and disinvestment. And as some of you may know, as Michael mentioned, we've helped stabilize the 2200 block of Druid Hill Avenue, which are beautiful homes. These are irreplaceable homes. When you have to demolish as a last result, you want beauty to come back and be built as new homes. But we're really also very pleased to be able to bring back the historic nature of these irreplaceable homes on Druid Hill Avenue. And a little further down, historic buildings that are occupied by the soon-to-become the Bethel Community Center, and also the YMCA renovation. I'd like to ask Marcy from our team, and Larry Brown from our team, and Todd, and anyone else from the JCD team to wave their hands. Larry Brown is your guy in West Baltimore for our awards. And they are working very actively to help bring back Pennsylvania Avenue for its residents. And I know just if you peek out here, the block of, which block is that, Marcy? The Pennsylvania? 2400 block has just recently gotten a facelift through facade development. So we continue to be your partner, and thank you for your leadership. It's through these kinds of programs, Bernie, Project CORE, and we hope through Opportunity Zone investment too, that we will join you in a wonderful, bright future for the Druid Heights community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, just before I bring up the founder, the lady who hired me in the 90s and trained me throughout the process, I want to bring up the board president. He wants to, I think, invite you all to something. So welcome our president of the board, Mr. Richard Edwards, everybody.
Thank you very much, Anthony, and all of our distinguished guests. This has been a major project for us, and it continues to be, and we continue to serve our community. But we have a project or a event coming up on the 20th of March, which is in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, right?
That's right.
2 weeks at Martin's West, and it's going to be a major fundraiser that we're going to have, and we're hoping that we can get people involved. It's going to be a roast for Senator Larry Young, and if anybody has anything wonderful they want to say about him, we got special guests that are going to do that, but you can still think it. And the other thing I wanted to also say that it's going to be 7 o'clock, starting 7 o'clock at Martin's West on the 20th. And the other thing, we have a census coming up, and the census is a real reason why or how we are able to get money based on your community makeup and who's in the community and the numbers of people in the community. So make sure when you guys hear about the census, and I don't know why they said on April 1st, because that's like a scary day. April 1st, everybody thinks it's an April Fool's Day, but it's not. It's going to be a day that we need to get everybody started and taking a look at this whole process so that we can get funding for the things that need to get funding. But at this point, one of the things I want to say is, and I think it's really important, and it's always, it's like you take a look at, I mean, when I think of doctors say do no harm. But when I think of people who work in the community and live in the community and serve our community, I would like them to think of one thing in the morning when they get up is how I can help make my community better. What is the one thing or the things that I can do to make my community better? And if everybody can do that, I think that's going to take us a long way in our efforts to make everything work for everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well said, Mr. President. Now, the one lady whose name I probably don't have to call, Mrs. Cornish, but I want to just preface it with this. When Ms. Cornish presses out her business card, it says retired. That would be a great loss for us if she really meant it, because we call on her day and night and even on the weekends. And we're glad that God gave her the wisdom and even the strength to help us moving these projects forward. So please help me warmly welcome the founder of Druid Heights Community Development Corporation and a still active voice in our community, Mrs. Jacqueline Cornish.
Good morning. And I am gratefully retired. That's what my card says. Before I say anything, I really want to recognize some folks here who are very important to what has been going on with these projects. We have the wonderful Marty Glaze, who is our general contractor, along with Curtis Miles, who has been with this community forever. Some of the best general contractors you're going to ever get in this city, that's for sure, or even in the state. Our partners who have come in and really given us a lot of good guidance, SAA EVI, that's Ernst Valerie, Dana Valerie over there, you know. Klaus Philbin, who is a pain in the ASS, but he is best when it comes to architecture. But we love him dearly. And Doug Kennedy, our engineer, did Doug leave or where? Oh, okay. He's related to you, Braverman. You see, you can't see him. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, but and you know our partners at Baltimore Community Lending. Also, I see Sean Russell over there in his 007 glasses. You know, but you know, and Walter Horton, who I used to babysit and who still gives me the advice that I need every now and then regarding the city. This truly has been an arduous project, but it's been worthwhile. And, you know, when you see the changes in the community and you look down the street a block, 2 blocks down, and you see that the houses that were done back then are still well kept. And look at these garage townhouses and these homes here. People are vested in the community, and that is why the community succeeds. Because people are vested. Now, that's not to say because you rent that you can't be vested. You can. You can. Especially if there's the proper management of those properties, you can. And you can get involved in your community. But home ownership is one of the biggest, I would say, buffers against crime that you're going to find. And people are looking for ways to make the city safer. Help us to build more home ownership. That's what you have. Homeowners are vested in where they are. They have invested for 30 years. They're saying, I'm going to vest in this community. And so they are the ones. You can go to other communities. I was pointing out to Michael earlier. You can go over to Utah Street. You can go down to Bolton Hill. Now, that's not to say, this is not to say, oh, by the way, and those rolls are delicious, Avenue Bakery. Thank you. But that's not to say that you know, they don't have crime. They do. They have crime, but it's not at the range or the scale, rather, thank you, for that we have it. And you know why? Because those folks are vested down there. They're not going to let you just come down there and do anything to their community because they have an interest in it. Help us to do that. And I'm talking to our people here too. Y'all gotta help us to get this thing done here. You know, really, it's about doing. It really is. And you know, I hate calling him Jack. I want to say Mr. Mayor because I respect him so. I've been calling him Jack for so long.
You call
but
me Jack?
Jack has been there. You know, Jack really, as you know, through all of his tenure in City Hall. I've never had a time, really, that I haven't gone to him and he has not responded in kind and said, whatever you need, we'll try to help you. Curtis Miles, I can't recognize you because you dress up, you clean up real good there, kiddo. I'm telling you, I'm looking over at you like, Lord have mercy. Look at Curtis. I'm me, y'all, so, you know. The comptroller, you know, the same thing, you know, just people that really care about the community, really, they do. And it's not just their talk, it's their walk. Leon Pinkett, I love him, you know. I didn't like him at first till I found out that he was really committed to the community, and I love him, you know, really. Michael Braverman, we go back, 25, 30 years, whatever. And really, Michael hasn't changed. Michael's heart is for the communities. And so you can tell that people are involved. Carol Gilbert was at the Neighborhood Design Center. She is absolutely right. She's a little TDO thing, you know, and she still is. But, you know, again, people who have vested their lives into these communities. And I just want to say thank you very much. Finally, I leave you with this. I love the Word of God. I stay in it as much as possible. Probably not as much as I should. But I love the Word of God. And I often look for things that inspire me and give me some kind of way to inspire others. Let me read to you Ecclesiastes 4, verses 9 to 12. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him, and a 3-fold cord is not quickly broken. We are a 3-fold cord. It's the community, our representatives, and Druid Heights Community Development Corporation. Thank you.
Wow. Can we thank all of our guests and even ourselves for this? You're at Baker Street, everybody. This is Baker's View. 13 Baker's View. 1, 2, 3. Baker's View. Thank you so much. I wanted to ask Ms. Jennings if she would do the shout out for all the thank yous. I know you've heard it, but I want to make sure we didn't miss anybody. But most importantly, we want to thank the residents of this community who are actively involved. I see them everywhere. I see Ms. Johnson, who owns the oldest business on Pennsylvania Avenue, Liz Beauty Salon. She's over there. I see Umar Boxing. I see everybody here. Hey, Umar. Everybody's here, and this is what it takes, like Ms. Corner says, 3-fold, 1 community. You got the shout-out list?
I got it.
All right.
I have the thank you list. So again, thank you and welcome, welcome. So I wanted to shout out our partners, but before I do that, I have to shout out my partner in crime, Rick Pearson. He is always assisting me and always got my back. Chloe Williams again, who's helping to sell these homes. Miss Candace Rice, who's on the housing counseling team. The outreach that which we again couldn't do without our community members. Miss Osley Fisher, director, and Tavon Benson. So again, this couldn't have happened without the partnership. Of course, I didn't build these houses. You see me like this, my hands are nice looking. And we had a wonderful contractor. And we just want to shout out again, Commercial Construction, Mr. Marty Glaze, and Mr. C.L. Miles, who again is always have our back. Klaus Phillipson, Doug Kennedy, these were the people who brought it together and who had the team. And just, we see a lot of partners that we didn't mention. I see No Boundaries, Aisha. I see for Main Street, we are partners with Main Street. Ms. Wanda Best, I see. And this community has a community plan. And so we can't just build houses and leave. We also look at our green space. And so I see Ms. Kim Knox, who we're continuing to help with Cab Calloway. And we have beautiful parks in the community. We're building Gold Street right around the corner with a community-based local contractor. New Baltimore is here. And so everyone works together. And I think that's all the shout outs. If I continue, I'll be past my time. But now we want to do our ribbon cutting. And again, before we do our ribbon cutting, please let's thank our elected officials and our guests. Mayor Young, Comptroller Joan Pratt, our Councilman Pinkett, Commissioner Braverman, Carol Gilbert, Assistant Secretary, and our wonderful founder, Ms. Jackie Cornish. Thank you, thank you. So we'll proceed with the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Before you do that, thank the workers, that team.
Oh my goodness, and how could I forget, as Miss Jackie did say, people sometimes are a pain in the A, is what she said. And I have wonderful partners, and the team, we could not have done this without the team on commercial construction. So I want to thank Jocelyn. I want to thank Aaron, Mr. Miles Jr. we call him. I want to thank Ronald. I want to thank Mark. You know we love you. We're just a functional family, Mark, but we love you. And last but not least, we want to thank JR, who's hiding, but he's the super. He's the one who's making sure, whipping everybody into shape.
2, 1.
Cut it!